Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks, the podcast where we solve your first world problems. And this week we are doing the social equivalent of sleeping with your girlfriend's best friend. We brought on Dom's friend, Dean.
Hello.
Hello. And Dan's also here.
He's our friend.
Yeah, but he's like
He's
our wife.
He's friend
And
of.
Dom is like, I know he's our friend, but
He's
also a friend of Dom.
Dom stepped out, so I've just quietly slipped in the back.
That's it. And we slipped in the back. No, hang on.
Dean is friend of everyone.
Friend of all.
Dean's like a modern day Jesus.
So is he married to everyone?
I would go as far as to say.
So we're all nuns and we're all married to Dean.
He's
Jesus.
He is in everyone.
And if you eat one of my special biscuits and drink my special juice, I will be inside you too.
Okay. I'm Ross.
I'm Dan.
I'm Dean.
As we
Worship
him. Oh, we've got some things to get through today.
Shouldn't we be a little bit more church-like about this? And there's sort of one demand that they worship him, but also demand that they send us money.
Oh yes,
that is
please send us money at 1-800.
I feel like that would be the best bit about if we were going to start a church around Dean.
I was going to ask Dean, being a friend of Dom's, and you're into a lot of his hobbies, the same kind of hobbies. Do you have a wet palette? Do you own a wet palette?
I've no idea what that is.
You haven't heard the last couple of weeks.
Do you have a wet
palette? Dom has a wet palette in his drawer. We originally thought it's where he kept all of his jizz
next
bags,
to his wet sock.
It is a palette of colours for his Warhammer.
Oh, yeah, he's tried to get me into that.
He's tried to get you to touch his wet palette.
Yeah.
He puts it in Tupperware, so it keeps it wet because he uses some kind of water-based something or other.
Dom's been asking Dean to put his hand in this mystery box.
Yeah, we were listening, we promise, but I just thought you might have one too.
No. When I was in art college, I've never heard of anything like a wet planet before.
No,
I think that's
it's so gross to hear anyone say
I think maybe that's something that Dom
He's just
had
made it up
from his other hobbies, and he just found out that it can keep paint wet as well as women.
Yeah, he is a master of both of those things.
Master of moisture.
Yeah,
that's a superhero I'd love to see.
Maybe he could
wet
go to
palette.
some of these, maybe he could go to some of these more desert-like countries and bring them fresh moisture.
Yes, Tupperware moisture.
Sploosh.
We have some Dan mail.
Go for it.
I'm going to get started. Friend of the show, Robin Beatty, has written in. Haven't heard from him in a little while.
It's been some time. Did you just find that under the sofa?
No. No, this was from last week. Just missed him when we streamed.
Oh, was it a comment on the live stream?
No. It was a post to the page. He says, utilising one of the cinema ideas this afternoon to see Beauty and the Beast, I decanted my squashies into a tiny cloth bag. Drawstring kept everything tidy. 10 out of 10 would use again. No ninjas needed. So
the ninjas are needed.
A couple of months ago, we discussed children particularly, and also
we'd just gone to the cinema, hadn't we, to see the new Star Wars?
Yes.
I think.
Also, bastard adults making noise in cinema with
rustly
bags, and
we solved it with material bags and ninjas.
Yes,
which sneak up behind you.
Ninjas would sneak up behind you. Yeah, basically.
And snipers as well, wasn't there?
There was. I think it was more of a deterrent. The snipers. It was like more of like the
red dot appears.
The red dot appears on your chest, and you think, "Holy shit!" And then it sort of gestures maybe towards the crumply bag.
I was watching a film the other day, and this guy had a tube of Pringles with him. One of the most crunchiest, noisiest.
God,
and they make almost like a reverberating echo as you shake them out as well.
Oh yeah. You've got the percussive sound of the Pringles tube.
Yeah.
I wish I was with Dom because he could use his moisture powers to give him soggy crisps.
Oh.
That's actually not a bad idea. Power. Moisten crisps.
It'd be great for old people to eat.
So you get your crisps in the wet palette.
Yeah.
Slosh them around.
So as you go into the cinema, you have to empty your crisps into a wet bag.
You know how when old people don't like dry food, it's too dry. Dom can moisten it for them.
He's the moistener. That is Dom Super. Like no command over. Like he's not like Avatar, the Last Airbender, or anything like that. He has no mastery over all water. He just has the ability to make something he touches slightly more moist.
Moist Nito.
I always noticed that whenever I was playing in a band and I'd give my guitar to someone with particularly sweaty hands, it would come back moist. Yeah.
When you're
And
playing
I'm
video
very
games-
dry. Feel that, Dan. I'm so dry. Feel my hands are so
Oh,
dry.
you are dry. I'm wet.
Always dry.
Yeah.
And you give your
Or you're
guitar to
playing
someone.
video
they'd be-
games and it's your turn and they just give
Oh,
you this
yeah.
dripping controller.
Oh, that's grim. That's why I don't play video games.
I must admit, VR. I do sweat on my VR.
I will not be trying your VR.
I've tried it. You'll be getting both of our.
Of our moists.
DNA.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been on that VR.
I didn't find it to be too sweaty. What the worst thing for me was the you gave me those over ear headphones.
So you couldn't hear me coming.
yeah, and I didn't.
No,
No.
Just to let you know.
you felt it.
It's a very short game.
Yeah.
But those over ear headphones, as good as they are, and I would like to buy myself a pair of over ear headphones, but they make my ears get hot.
I think
Really
I'm got used
hot.
to it. I spend a lot of time, like in the summer, on the tube with them on, and I don't get too sweaty in the ears.
I'm an in-ear man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't get the sound quality.
Oh, you can.
Are you still using them Sony ones that you've always used?
Yep.
I'm still using those.
Oh,
too.
actually, no. Do you know what? No, a couple of years ago, it's just occurred to me I had to. I couldn't find them anymore because I wanted them with a iPhone control on it, and they stopped
Yeah.
making it with the iPhone control. So I got some Sennheiser ones for a similar price.
Are they
like
as good as them?
£30.
Because they were very good.
Possibly a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to find out from you what they are because
Yeah. Oh mate, they're really fucking good.
I love those old Sony ones.
Yeah. So Robin Beatty's put all his little sweets into the drawstring bag.
Oh, bless you.
What a great idea.
Mm.
There we go. And Steve Wynn has written in.
Window to the Soul?
Yeah. And no, not a window to the soul this week.
No, just the Steve Wynn.
He's just said that there's a handy little thing here for your sandwich buffet, which is sort of like a little 3-wheel scooter with a cooler on it as the sort of the main body of the scooter.
Does it have kitchen roll for dabbing your tomatoes?
Well, I can imagine you could put that in there. It's basically just a cooler that you would take to the beach or
Yeah.
for a picnic.
A picnic.
And,
picnic
and
basket.
that is the body of what appears to be a scooter. So I suppose you sit on the cooler.
That keeps your butt cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can keep your bum
Amazing.
cool. Yeah,
That looks quite cool. I feel
Yeah.
like I could put a petrol engine on that and it would be
you
fun.
probably could. Yeah, it's got a little brake on it as well. So it's basically somewhere in between a sort of a tricycle and a scooter and also a beer cooler. I think probably if you're going to go down the cooler route, though, I'm not so interested in keeping my sandwiches cold. I am interested in keeping my beer cold. I'd
Yeah.
probably fill that with all
Yeah.
beer
Yeah.
and have liquid lunch instead.
I
Yep.
think I have sneaked alcohol into cinemas far more than I have food.
You sneak it to the cinema.
Absolutely.
You're naughty.
Quite a few years ago, I used to play drinking games in the cinema. My favourite one was every Halloween, the new Saw film would come out.
Yep.
And so you would sneak in 4 cans of beer for yourself and your friend
Yep.
and a bottle of Jägermeister or whiskey. And you had to drink every time someone died, every time a tape was being played, and every time a flashback happened.
All right.
And by the time we got to the end of it, there were tapes being played, within tapes being played, of flashbacks, in flashbacks, of people dying.
They knew you were doing this game.
Yeah.
It was immense. And it's really enjoyable watching a horror film when someone dies a grisly death. The back of the cinema goes, but at the front you hear, drink!
Just got to move your microphone down slightly because I've just noticed that on the live stream you can't see your lovely face.
So trying to protect my anonymity.
Yes, Mr. X is on the show.
For once, me and Dan are matching in our outfits and you're wearing Batman.
Yes, well, we coordinated.
I
this
did
evening.
phone you earlier, didn't I?
Yes,
Make sure that you were going to be wearing your white shirt.
very important.
That's the problem being a guest. You don't get the pre-game wardrobe fitting.
No. Dom is doing whatever he's doing, wearing a white shirt.
He's probably naked as he usually is.
Just wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
His penis is out, but he's
Around
wearing
his
a t-shirt.
hand. Wet palette in the other hand.
Yeah,
He's probably wet paleting. Is that why he couldn't make
he
it?
probably is wet paleting tonight. Yeah,
He's re-moistening it because
There's
it's dried out.
he's there. There is a palette getting extremely wet tonight.
Do you want me to read this one?
Yes,
Yeah, let's do
go
this
for
one.
it.
This is from the head of MI Sticks. Good evening, boys. After a long and thorough search for a replacement for the new head of MI Sticks, we found ultimately no candidates had the requisite skill, charm, expertise, and for those who got the grilling interview stages, ability to draw breath or generate a pulse. On a completely unrelated note, please ignore the pungent rotting smells coming from the wheelie bins. Your beloved head of MI Sticks, all hail me, sent from my iPhone, sent from my iPhone.
This was actually from a little while ago because we got a message from James Hemming, saying, "Did you get my email?" And we hadn't. We did.
No, we didn't get that, did we?
Not get his email, but he did. He re-forwarded it, and
Is that why it was sent from my iPhone, sent from my iPhone?
no, because that was what he wrote.
Okay.
I think I don't know.
At least it wasn't sent from a potato.
No, makes a change.
Maybe he hasn't got an iPhone, but he just copy and paste that last bit into every email.
Wouldn't
He
you?
accidentally hit it twice.
If I had a
yeah,
Samsung
yeah.
Galaxy, I'd change the sign off to say sent from my iPhone.
Yeah.
Even though, because I have an iPhone, I don't get it to send that. I've turned that off.
I've started using it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like short code for if I've made any spelling mistakes, it's because I'm using my phone.
Right.
That's the whole idea of
Blank
it. isn't
Siri.
it?
Yeah.
That's what that's supposed to be for. Sorry, this isn't a professional looking reading message, but I'm sort of working on the move.
Yeah.
That's the idea of it. Obviously, I don't. If I email one of you guys, I don't bother. I just put "fuck you" at the bottom.
This is duck you.
Yeah. So we have a problem, and our very special guest, Dean,
Has the problem.
It is his problem.
It is his problem.
What is your fucking problem?
Well, Sam, my fucking problem
Sam?
is, like many millions of people in the country, I work in the service industry. Now, this month we've had last month.
Like, was that a sexual thing? Service industry.
It feels like you're getting raped.
Well, how much does a service on my wet pallet cost?
Well, we don't really get overtime, so you just kind of bring it into the store. I'll slather some more ice cream on it. Be
Oh,
good to go.
lovely. So, to give some context, you work in a ice cream parlor sort
Yeah,
of
I work
thing.
in the ice cream mines.
Mining the ice cream.
Yeah,
with his
we
canary
had,
in
we had
his
a
cave.
fudge cave in the other day, and a lot of Italians were drowned. It was hilarious.
Good lord.
Yeah, there was upset it wasn't ragu, but so anyway. So last month we had 2 bank
What was you
holidays.
saying before this about being racist?
all I heard was be racist.
Yeah.
Hey, the Italians like a bit of ragu.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. And ice cream.
That was spaghetti monsters. It's a lot nicer than what I really call them.
Keep going.
So
Keep
yeah.
going.
So when you people have a bank holiday, it's a lovely day off. Hooray!
You people. Is that
Yeah,
racist
you-
as well?
Yeah, you people, your white t-shirts. But working in the service industry, a bank holiday just means you have to work twice as hard for no extra pay with the kind of customers you don't normally go out that much because they have normal jobs. And so they come out and they expect service on a stick when...
You do serve stuff on sticks, right?
Cones.
Cones, right. Yeah.
Waffle stick.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
I'd just like to say this white fucking t-shirt worked on bank holiday. Thank you very much.
well, we can all cosplay as a... as a
Seriously,
hard worker.
masturbating is working, all right?
Yeah.
I did not work on any of the bank holidays.
No, you have an office job, don't you, as such?
Mm.
Yeah, sort
So
of.
you're not expected to work that day.
But that being said, I did work in a very well-known retail establishment,
Supermarket chain.
yes,
Yeah.
for 8-9 years.
Rhymes with
So-
Ainsley's.
Yes, and I did work bank holidays when I worked in retail.
But
Quite often worked bank holidays, in fact.
I did it for a similar but not the same retail establishment as Dan.
Mhm.
The opposing.
Rhymes with al fresco.
And back in those days, because this was a long time ago because I'm old, I used to get double time on a bank holiday.
Yes,
Well,
well,
that's not a thing anymore.
Nope.
I've got to say that I got into the retail game at just the right time because a lot of the contracts changed about half a year to a year after I joined. So they sort of abolished. Used to get Sunday.
I got double time Sundays.
No.
Well, we used to see you were doing it just before me then because
yeah. Well, I would have been, yeah.
we didn't get double time. We got something called Sunday Premium,
Yeah.
which was something along the lines of. I mean, I suppose like when I was.
More than time and
Is
a
that
half.
just Sunday with no adverts?
Yeah.
It was like a couple of quid extra every hour.
Right.
But it kind of made working Sundays worth working,
Yes.
considering you would start at a similar time, like 7 or 8 in the morning, but then the shop doesn't actually open till 10, so you get to sort of avoid the customers, and then it's only sort of a 6-hour shift until you're closing down, which, the less, as you know from working in retail, the less time spent around customers, the better.
I used to love the pre-prep time.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. That's why I used to like going in to do the baking, because you're there for 3 hours before the store's even open, and you're going for breakfast by the time people start wanting things, and you're going home by midday.
Yep. They've only been in for a little while.
But my problem is, how do we equalise the playing field? So
Make Dan work.
No, I've done my time. The thing was as well, I've got to say that the thing was is that you get an allocation when you work in retail for holidays, and then that's bumped up by a bank holiday allowance as well. So you get sort of some nominal amount of holidays, about 3 weeks worth of holiday hours, and then you get extra for bank holidays. Do you know what? I've got to say that working in retail, it's actually one of the more generous places to work for holiday allowance.
Yeah.
Particularly when you know how to abuse it. So
I'm self-employed and my boss is a dick.
yeah,
always touching you up.
yeah. But I never used to take the bank holidays because I knew that if you work bank holidays, you used to get time and a half or whatever.
Yeah. Did
And-
you also used to get a day in lieu, or was that like Christmassy Boxing Day ones? Because if you
I
used to
don't
work
know.
on a bank holiday, you used to get another day off later in the year, or like at another point. Was that a thing?
My sister
I
very
never
recently
had that.
worked for quite a big supermarket chain.
What does it rhyme with?
Rhymes with Robinsons, actually.
Okay.
And
Robinsons is a brand. You can't say that.
oh, damn it. Yeah, and I think that she didn't get any of the perks that Dan is describing. I think they have.
Really? Yeah.
I think
well,
they have ground the workers into.
I've got to say, I know they've removed the Sunday premium and things like that, and a lot of these sort of the older people that I worked with when I worked on the bakery would get very good pay for bank holidays and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I used to abuse that, so I used to work the bank holidays because like there were certain days where it'll like say Boxing Day. I used to work every Boxing Day because no one really wants to work Boxing Day, but you'd get kind of time and a half or double time, whatever it was. It meant that I wasn't taking a day out of my holiday allowance for the year. And because, as probably should be the case, not very many people want bread on Boxing Day, the amount of production is very low. So I used to go in at sort of 5, 6 in the morning, do the entire day's worth of kind of production in a couple of hours, and then go home and get paid for the whole day. So
I think I used to get more money for overnights as well. I think I used to get time and a half for doing
yeah.
overnights.
For overnights, you get like a shift premium any time after like 10, half 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Before the times of 24-hour shopping. If you can imagine the time before 24-hour shopping.
Yeah.
I know a guy that used to work nights in one of these big stores as like a shelf stacking or something. They've now eliminated that entire shift, and now the day staff have to try and fit it all in.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
I've heard of that happening.
Yeah.
But working shift work is really bad for your circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you used to work in a pub, so surely you were open Christmas Day.
Yeah, the only time I've ever got paid more than my salary was working Christmas Day,
Yeah.
and it was only time and a half. However, on that day we had a booking of, let's say, 140 odd Americans and Canadians, and they all had a bottle of sherry per table. Most of them didn't drink, so me and the chefs just got absolutely fucked up on sherry that afternoon, and then I went for a massive roast dinner around my family. It was quite good.
Good work.
Nice. And if anyone is hiring at the moment and you're in the market for a sherry drinking on shift pub manager, Dean Robinson is available for interview.
I will drink your stock, sir.
Your sock stock.
The suck stock.
So how do we fix...
So I did think about talking with my colleagues, like, wouldn't it be great if there's a bank holiday just for the hospitality industry? So if you work in a pub, restaurant, cafe, you get a day off. But on that day off, where the fuck are we going to go?
That's a good point.
Stay at home. Play computer games.
Well,
Uh,
I mean,
Stock up the day before.
I'm going to sound like someone's granddad here, and I'm going to say that the shop shouldn't open on bank holidays.
I don't think they should.
And Sundays.
I don't think they should. I'm with you. I think that everything. It doesn't hurt the world to shut for a day, but the government are never going to agree to that because it makes money.
I mean, Jeremy Corbyn got a lot of flack because he wants to, is it 2 or 5 extra bank holiday days throughout the year?
Yeah, something like that.
And
yeah.
some people saying like, you're going to cost the economy this much money. And Jeremy Corbyn was like, well, those people their day off, they're going to spend money in the economy.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make money, doesn't it? Bank holidays make the country loads of money.
And then some stupid reported, well, why don't you make every day a bank holiday then?
No.
No.
They said the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you worked at the bank holiday? The bank holiday just gone.
The one, yeah.
May Day.
May Day, yes. I was rigging at the Excel.
Okay.
Hmm.
I was just
Long
trying to
day.
think. I was just sort of trying to think what I did on the bank holiday.
But I drove home and I was like, I haven't got anything for dinner. I'm going to swing by Tesco's. Fucking closed.
Yeah.
Completely forgot it was a bank holiday. Because
See-
I worked it, I completely forgot.
that is what they shouldn't do. They shouldn't tease an opening like that. Working in retail, they shouldn't say, we're open bank holidays, but we're not open for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a normal Monday, so I just went to the shop thinking it was going to be open 24 hours. Shut. I had to go to the co-op.
I did that at work once. I was working in the pub, bought all of my wet pallets to art college, and just kind of did my shift at work. Then I lugged all of this heavy art shit with me to the college, and it was closed because of bank holiday. Bastards.
Bad times.
So yeah, how are we going to
Maybe
alleviate?
maybe just lock down the entire UK. Like,
So now that costs
Like a purge.
that costs the economy, though, doesn't it? Big time.
well,
What, you're
probably
talking about no flights in or out, no boats in or out? So everybody
lock
has
the
a fucking
entire
day
thing
off.
down. Yeah, you can't get out of your house.
I like it. Like the purge.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. There's no healthcare for the day.
Oh, yeah, there wouldn't be anything.
No emergency services.
So, yeah, if you
No,
fall over and...
no government, no infrastructure.
No telly. The man like pulling a lever on the internet. That wouldn't work.
No
anymore.
police.
No
nothing.
police.
No military. It's a bit leaving yourself open to Kim Jong-un, isn't it?
What they should... Well,
Kim Nom Nom.
Kim Jong-un.
well, do you know what?
Nom, nom,
Okay,
nom, nom, nom.
okay, right, so I've got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you're a kid and there's a bank holiday?
Yep.
You used to sit at home and watch telly all day
Yeah.
because telly on a bank holiday used to be
Oh, it's
really, really good. There was
Yeah.
some like Laurel and Hardy in there. You get a bit of Wallace and
Old school
Gromit,
Batman.
Always
Yeah,
a James
some-
Bond.
Yeah, James Bond always.
a little bit of Batman, James Bond. Yeah, right.
And sometimes there will be a Star Wars.
Yes.
Those were the great days.
So what we need to do is we do need to close all of the shops on a bank holiday. Oh my God, I hear everyone cry. What are we going to do if we can't go shopping? Well, what we need to do is improve bank holiday television.
Yes.
But with streaming nowadays, you don't need to improve bank holiday TV. Think about what we would have done back in the day when there was nothing open and we had Netflix.
So-
We'd have binged watched
I haven't
something. And,
connected my TV into an aerial since I bought it 8 years
But
ago.
right, do you not like on a bank holiday or even just like a lazy Sunday or something? Is there never a day where you sit down and you almost think to yourself, I can't be bothered to decide what I want to watch now. I'm just going to see what's on the TV. Do you never just look through the...
very rarely, but I do it.
See,
yes.
we do that.
No.
We do
And I
that
end
all
up
the...
watching Homes Under the Hammer for 4 hours.
We do that all the time. Like, you know, if it's like a lazy Sunday or a bank holiday and we're sitting down, we're vegging out in our pants all day, we'll sit down and see if there's anything on. But like before we decide, inevitably, because
There's 28 Antique Show or a Poirot.
yeah, because bank holiday television is not fucking good anymore.
No.
And then we inevitably decide to stream like a Disney film or something bank holiday-ish.
Mm.
One of the old Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the new one a little while ago.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
I felt distraught.
Yeah.
Mm. Took me a little while to go over it. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Maddie watched it recently, my girlfriend, and
Have you not seen it?
No, I've seen the reviews of it, and the reviews have been resoundingly negative.
You've had my review of it, haven't you?
Yeah, what was your review?
I
Was it when you just farted into your hand and threw it in my face?
Cupcake. No, my review was that as one of those Melissa McCarthy films goes, it was okay, but it should have just been called something else. They could have called it anything else.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine. And even if they'd still had the little, nods to Ghostbusters in it, that would have been funny because it would have been something else.
Yeah.
But because they called it Ghostbusters, it had a fucking massive amount.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah. And I think, there were funny bits of the film. It was okay. Dan Aykroyd's line in it was fucking genius. And it would have been a good film, but they had to call it Ghostbusters, and that's what ruined it.
Well, unfortunately, Ross, I don't really trust your film reviews because you like Fast and the Furious. So
I love Fast and the Furious.
I've only ever seen one, and it was the one where there was in Japan sliding around all over the place.
Drifting, they call that.
Oh, it's terrible.
But these people can't even drive.
And I've seen that the new one has made £1 billion already.
Good. It deserves it. Deserves every penny.
About big bald men driving cars around.
That's it. And a couple
Then
of
again,
butch women.
I enjoy films where a billionaire beats up poor people.
I enjoy those films as
Yeah.
well. It's like Fire Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like just a billionaire just ragging on. Well, I
I
suppose
need
they
to
have
bring my
other
Fast and
other
Furious
rich
t-shirt.
people.
Yeah.
I should have brought my Fast and Furious t-shirt with me.
Is it sort of like one of those like fake weathered t-shirts got rips in it as if
Yeah.
you've been like doing tough guy stuff
Yeah.
all
There's a
day?
constantly like blowing around.
And it's got like a picture of Vin Diesel and it says something about family on it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like something I want to have quoted on the back of my car with R.I.P. Paul fucking Walker
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Those things are cringy.
When it comes to ironic deaths. Wow.
Yeah, you don't get much
Wow.
more ironic than that, do you?
Nope.
So what are we going to do to save service and retail workers for the back holidays? I mean, that was my proposition, but if you guys aren't even watching television, if we can't increase the quality of bank holiday television up to its former glory, then
Yeah, I mean, if you can like guarantee me like a marathon on telly, but the reason why I don't like TV is I can't stand adverts. I can't deal with them.
You know how when you're...
advert-free day. Well,
Wow.
they're not going to do any business, are they? If the whole
Yeah.
UK is closing down.
What if, like you run a shop, so, when it's lunchtime, you send half of the staff off for lunch, and then when they come back, you send
No,
the
you
other
don't.
half of staff off
No,
for lunch.
you don't.
Or you send them off on shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he doesn't give anyone lunch because he's some kind of...
No,
mean boss.
they have to lick the ice cream from their bare bloody knuckles.
to keep
And
themselves
carry
going,
on.
sustenance. But you do things in shifts, so maybe it's mandatory that you guys have a day off. So you have to have a day off in a week as a bank holiday, paid. It's probably going a little too far.
What
But-
about rolling bank holidays? So like every industry gets has to work one of the bank holidays.
Also, it's the 3rd of March. It's Costa's day off. Then on the 4th, it's Starbucks. On the 5th, it's Nero.
Yeah, or just like, May bank holiday, people, it's going to be quite sunny, so all the ice cream parlours have to open.
Yeah, so in one of the winter bank holidays, you could have your one.
Yeah,
I'll
be
be
open.
happy with that.
When the demand for ice cream is less.
But you still get less bank holidays than everyone else because Dan will have a bank
Actually,
holiday on all of those.
In winter, everyone wants waffles, so we're screwed on both ends.
Oh, right, okay, well, right. This is a problem.
Autumn.
Yes, an autumnal bank holiday. What is a autumnal bank holiday? Are there any in autumn?
There is October, isn't there? Is there one?
Is there?
I'm sure there's a bank holiday in October.
I have no idea. I just have PTSD of like various parts throughout the year of just thousands of middle-aged women screaming at me because their little Tarquin hasn't got a gluten-free option on his fucking waffle that's made of flour.
I think the issue might not be the bank holidays, Dan.
Yeah.
I think there's a deeper lying problem.
Yeah, Dean's a very angry man.
Yes.
Never seen a man so angry about ice cream.
Well, I suppose if you work around a product enough, you would get enraged by it, wouldn't you?
Do you ever get angry at the inflatable things, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah. See, nobody ever gets mad at around.
I've just
inflatables.
recovered. I'm a recovering K-Cup user as well after my time working in Sainsbury's Bakery. Yes. And by cake abuser, I mean cake eater, as you can tell from my belly.
I thought by abuser, I thought you were having sex with them. But that's just where my mind goes.
We'll
Well,
get those holes in the donuts somehow.
That's it. Sweet, warm apple pie.
oh, I do really want a nice warm jam donut now, though.
Put your penis in.
No, it's eat.
I've peaked his.
There's nothing quite like eating a jam donut as it's just been
Yeah.
fried, sugared, and filled.
Do you eat it butthole first, like I do?
What?
Yeah, because otherwise the jam spills
Yeah,
out.
you have to find the butthole and then eat it that way around.
Right. Okay.
Every donut has a butthole,
Yeah. In my head, for some reason, you were
and the chocolate ones really have buttholes.
eating one of the ring donuts from the inside out. I was like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah, you have to turn it inside
Yeah.
out.
It's like imploding the universe.
Yeah.
It's like folding space time to eat a
Yeah.
donut.
Yeah, you have to find the little hole first
That's it.
to keep the filling in.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it spills out everywhere.
yeah.
You get jam down your t-shirt or chocolate.
We are wearing white
Custard.
today as well. This is
Yeah.
a problem.
I might. Do you know what? I don't know if it's just sort of getting older, but I can't wear a white t-shirt for more than about a day now because I always get something down it.
I
I feel like a child.
yeah. I
I
went
should
out.
get a baby grow.
I went out for lunch the other day, and my food arrived on the table, barbecue style something or other. It got put on the table. I went to pick up my knife and fork, and I already had some of it down me. I don't know how I have it. It must have been on the edge of the plate, and it must have scuffed me on the way in. But I had barbecue brownness on me, like a man-child. I like the idea of the rolling bank holiday, but it does mean he doesn't get as many holidays as you.
Yes, it does. But does he deserve one? Does he deserve the extra?
Does he work as hard as you, Dan? That's the thing. I don't.
I
think he
deal
does.
with your screaming children. I deal with
Dan doesn't
your-
have any screaming children.
I think it is unfortunate that it is that a lot of the people who do not often get bank holidays off as much as other people do tend to be in the industries where they have to deal with,
Arseholes on
People.
bank holidays. Yeah.
and by people, as a generalization, lots of people are wankers.
The majority, Dan, I think we'll find.
Apart from the listeners of this good podcast,
Well, yeah, they're a minority, aren't they? Or
Yeah.
7 of them.
we are the few. We are the 1%.
Less than that.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the real crime of that, is that it is service and retail that kind of usually end up working the bank
Yeah.
holidays, whereas if the other two people that often work in my office didn't sort of come in, I work here
Mm.
alone at the other end of a computer dealing with people over email.
Yeah.
It is a job that I could do while doing a poo at home. Yeah, and I have worked while pooping on several
I've done some of my
occasions.
finest work while pooping.
Have you?
Yeah.
When you used to do sculpture?
Yeah. Only elongated brown objects.
Once actually, speaking of working in retail, once there was like the legendary story
Oh,
in
God.
my store at the supermarket. Was it in the staff toilet? Someone had done a poo, and they had pooed not in the toilet, but on the back of the
Yeah.
toilet on the cistern, and then moulded it into a cube.
I remember you telling me
I
about this. This is
don't know
gross.
why. I don't know why they did it.
Molded it into a cube.
Moulded it into a cube.
Every time I hear this story, I'm disgusted and fascinated.
Wouldn't it I'd just love to have been a fly on the wall for that, just that couple of minutes. It would have been a
Yeah.
disgusting
Just
couple
why?
of minutes.
I mean that is my question. Why?
Yeah. There's something not quite right there, is there?
But see, the thing is, I can see why someone would go for that. Because did you ever, like, when you were out doing like PE in sort of like the autumn months, like pick up a bit of mud and mold it into a cube? I used to
Did
quite,
have a blue tack. I don't think I ever did it with mud.
I used to quite enjoy doing that with a bit of mud, or like you say, some blue tack. So I can see why they went for the cube shape, but why they
It is
decided
poop though.
why they decided to handle their own excrement, I have no idea.
I've never ever handled my own excrement.
I have not either.
No.
No, apart from accidentally, like you get a
Oh, and you poke a hole through it.
break on the TP.
Yeah. Yeah, you bust a finger through.
Yeah, yeah.
So your suggestion is rolling bank holiday. I like the country shuts down for a day idea. No, I like the thought of.
I like it. I'd like it to go back to the olden days where everything's shut.
One thing I do think of is do a work experience program.
Okay, so Sophie Louise Green says, "Hi guys, sounds like my kind of story, TBH. I assume you're talking about the poop story.
Yeah.
Was it you? Did you work in Sainsbury's Canterbury in 2007?
Did you make your poop into a cube?
It's good to have a hobby.
A really
Yeah, one thing
stinky
I was
hobby.
thinking about when I was talking about this with people at work is some kind of work placement scheme where if you work in a bank, for this bank holiday, you have to do a shift at your local Weatherspoons.
Oh, okay.
Just so I can go in and be the kind of prick that you are on a weekly basis on your shift.
Do you know why I think this would be quite a good idea? Because having worked, as we all have, in service and retail,
Yep.
I think probably one of the most frequently uttered sentences while working in that environment is kind of, how would you like it?
Yeah.
Because, there were times where I remember working on that bakery where I wasn't right by the counter. I was the only person on the bakery and someone was going to try and get my attention while I was at the back.
I would never answer to a
I
whistle.
went down to the counter and panted at them. And they were trying to ask me for what they wanted. I just kept panting and panting. And they were like, I don't know what you're doing. I was like, well, I thought I was a dog. It's one of those things where you kind of like when you work in retail or service, there is a point where you get to the end of your tether.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes you just can't help it. There were real times where I risked probably getting in quite a bit of trouble because
You were always
I'm
in trouble anyway.
because I'm a fucking human being. I'm not some some butler.
I did it when I was DJing a lot. I would answer back a lot, but then when you were DJing, you could just tell people to fuck off.
Yeah.
And they would go to the manager and go, he told me to fuck off. And the
Yeah,
manager would go, you
Ross,
probably deserved it.
That's why we don't hire you anymore, mate.
Yeah.
You probably need fucking off.
Someone will whistle at me and be like, are you fucking sure? Are you sure you want to whistle at me?
Yeah.
We're like, and
I mean,
they go,
I have had
well,
a
we just
mother
went
of
for the song.
4 spit in my face because her dinner wasn't correct. I would love...
in front of her children?
Yeah.
That is mental.
And so I took their plates and said, you can get the fuck out. How dare you swear in front of my children? Fuck them. Get out. I want to speak to your manager. You are. Get out. I just kept saying get out enough times until she
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to call your area manager. Oh, good. You won't answer my calls.
Yeah.
But I would love...
He's this puppet.
Yeah. he manages my area. Yeah, but I would love to be able to go in when she's forced to work a shift in the local Weatherspoons and just be the worst.
Yeah.
Order a massive round and have the last one be a Guinness. Order a really complicated cocktail and then change my mind. Ask for a T-bone steak, well done.
No.
With ketchup.
Yeah.
That I just cannot abide. But no, I think that would be a really, really sort of like good thing to do. So like socially,
Is this like that TV show where they get the boss of the company to come down? To
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss. It's just like that, isn't
We've
it?
got a kind of thing like that at work coming up soon. I can't say too much about it because it's very hush-hush. But I can't wait for the implications to come about.
Dean's becoming an ice cream for the day.
Yeah.
Children are going to lick him.
Yeah, no, it's just this full-child man pretending to be a scoop.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good for like, because where I've worked in kind of those industries, I'm quite aware when I go into a supermarket or into a pub or something like that I don't click at the staff or whistle
And
or
you have a lot more patience. But conversely, if I see someone's doing a really shit job because they're lazy, I hammer that fucker because
People who are chatting, not serving me because they're having a chat with their work
Yeah.
colleagues, that'll fuck me
that
off.
really winds me up.
To get in on the comments here, Sophie Louise Green says you should have punched the kids.
Oh, if only.
And Jeff says, definitely clicked back into the face of a clicker numerous times. I'm a manager now, so the more I hear, I want to speak to the manager, the bigger my grin gets. Which
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do love that situation.
In the first pub I worked in, one of the things we used to do when people would just stand there like that with a fire over the bar waiting for you to serve them, get the old lighter out, hold it underneath their money, and
was-
then refuse to serve them.
Like the old days of the hobgoblin, it was a little bit more
Yeah.
brutal. That's where I learned to be a good customer in a bar,
We
because
forced
it was literally like the most no nonsense bar in the world.
It was like
if I
Paddy's
leant
Pub.
on the bar wrong, it got a slap round the side. Jesus.
Yeah, someone once grabbed hold of my sleeve to get my attention, and he got dragged over by the bar by the manager. And he said, "You touch my staff again, I'll touch you." And then we all stopped. Went, "What?"
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. So that each sort of like industry gets a bank holiday covered by. It'd be like jury service. Everyone has to do it once.
Yeah, I would love to go into a financial institution and bezel the fuck out of it like they do.
Those guys don't really need to be open on a bank holiday, do they?
No, exactly.
It'd be them
Oh, that's
covering
true.
you.
It'd
Yeah,
be like
basically.
jury service.
It'd be them covering you.
Everyone has to go into like the service and retail industry just for one bank holiday.
Yeah, so you get this like fat banker going, "Oh, I've got Greg's this year."
Yeah, very unlikely that you're going to get called up again, but there is always the chance you can do it, and you can get out of it if you have some sort of commitment.
Although, as a manager, I'm imagining I'm going to have to stay on to teach these fuckers how to do it.
No, we don't. No, don't get any lessons. They just get thrown in.
Yeah,
In the deep end.
It's just like working in retail.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
sink or swim.
Well, they can go for a training day beforehand. They have to come in one afternoon and get trained up to do
They
it.
can do a half day at their job to come and get trained at your job.
Yeah, it's like jury service. You still get paid to do it, all that sort of thing.
Do masseurs get bank holidays? Because I would love to do a half day there.
Why don't you just apply to be a masseur, Dean?
Yeah.
You want to give people happy endings? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I've got certain talents.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been wasted in the ice cream mines. So anyway,
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. Bank holiday service.
That's a good name for it as well. Bank holiday service.
Yeah, it's fair, and then if everyone has to do it. I mean, obviously, like there'll be extenuating circumstances if you are deadly allergic to, I don't know,
Ice cream.
peanuts or something, and you have to go and work in
would
the
you, for
Ferrero Rocher
instance,
factory.
would you eat a Big Mac knowing it was made by James Cameron? Or would you eat a McFlurry knowing it was put together by Jeremy Corbyn?
I would eat a Corbyn McFlurry.
Mm.
I feel like it would be very just.
Yeah.
It would be the fairest McFlurry,
Perfectly organised.
but not presented
toppings.
very well.
No. And a bit runny.
But did you mean David Cameron?
Yes, I did, not James Cameron.
James Cameron. That's an entirely different ball game.
No, Steven Spielberg. For God's sake, Michael.
Where were you this evening?
Yeah,
no idea.
James Cameron's Avatar. isn't
Terminator.
it? Terminator. Yeah.
I would 100% eat a Big Mac made by David Cameron, and
Extra bacon.
I'd probably send it back. He would just be super awkward about it.
Mm. Well, I'm happy with that.
Do you think when James Cameron's cutting up the veg, he goes,
Need your pickles, your lettuce, and your tomatoes. All right, solved, I think.
I think that's
Yeah.
good. I think it's a good
bank
one.
holiday service?
Yeah.
Because when I have a day off, I never ever want to go into my place of business. Like, ever.
Yeah, of course.
If I knew that some knobs were forced to work there for the day, I would go in and order the giant tutti frutti sundae with extra strawberries and like double sauce just to get it all over the place.
and send it back for
Yeah.
being too cold.
There needs to be a regulatory body because you can't have people just getting off of it by saying, "Oh no, I'm going on holiday," things like that. It needs to be quite sort of strictly maintained, I think,
Mm.
because I can just imagine, Debbie, mum of three, stay at home parent, just sort of like saying, "Oh, I don't want to go and do that," but she will probably be the worst one in the ice cream shop.
Yep.
I can see it happening now. I can think of a few people that would just
Also,
straight up
I know
refuse to
that
do
I'd
it.
be after bastard to go in the next day and clean up after everybody.
Could you imagine your boss working in his place? Oh, that'd be great.
My boss.
Your boss.
I can imagine that.
You can imagine it. Is it hilarious to you?
I think you'd love it.
Well, I don't know. You've known him for far longer than I have.
I have.
Has he ever?
And I think it would be great.
Has he ever worked in retail or anything like that?
No,
Oh really?
no, never done anything like that.
Oh really?
No.
Okay.
No.
I kind of just
He
assumed.
worked at a magazine. When I first met him, he was working at a magazine.
Right.
Selling
Doing
the big issue.
No, it's a car magazine,
Hmm.
and I think he was just putting bits together.
It's
No.
funny. I just kind of assume that
No.
everyone has like done some
No,
stint in
he has-
retail
no,
or
he
the
never
service
has.
industry.
And then from there, radio, and then to this.
Oh, fair enough.
So never done an honest day's work in his life.
Well, it probably will be quite eye-opening for some people who have never worked in one of those industries
Yeah.
to have to do
I
it.
think over time, like society would get kinder to each other because
Yeah, exactly.
they know what it's like to be on the other end of the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say that, but the second that those guys go in, you're talking about going around and giving them shit
Yeah.
that you get all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But they can't learn that their behaviour is awful unless they've been on the receiving end.
no,
Fight fire with fire, sir.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
that's it. I guess if you went in and gave them a nice time, they wouldn't really appreciate
Yeah,
it. They'd
they,
give you
they,
shit
they
next
think,
time.
oh,
Yeah.
why are these people so miserable? It's easy.
Yeah.
No, I am going to be awkward.
I suggest we name it. There were two things that came up in the podcast that I thought it should be named.
Go on.
One of them was bank holiday service,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the other thing was whatever we called Dom earlier, moisture man or moist man or
Moistnito.
moistnito.
Well, I'm obviously going to favour bank holiday service because
Moistnito's bank holiday service.
I'm
I
going
feel bank holiday service.
to mill it around for a second to see if I can think of
Yeah.
anything better. Oh, this is the awkward part when we do the live stream because I feel like I need to like fill the gap.
Dance.
Eating James Cameron's Big Mac. Corbyn's McFlurry surprise.
It's such a small part of the podcast. I feel like it's
Yeah.
misleading.
We should, yeah. I don't want to get grouped in with the politics podcast on the
No.
App Store just in case, because if someone stumbled upon it thinking that we were having some discussion about Jeremy Corbyn, I think they're going to be sorely disappointed.
And you're getting confused with James Cameron.
Yeah.
Clearly don't know what we're talking about.
I just call it bank holiday service.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm
I
down.
think that's
that's
a good
fine.
one. That tells everybody what it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, let's wrap it up. Visit stickitpod.com. Your links for everything, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, everything we have is linked on there. So just go stickitpod.com. Also on the front page, when you first get on there, without clicking on anything, you can send us your first world problems. You can send us any kind of problem. You can even just tell us about your day. Just send us an email. We enjoy emails.
Just to give you an idea of some of the things that we're going to be solving over the coming weeks as well, just to maybe give people
It's from the website, wasn't it?
Yes, a few ideas. We've got, in brief, this is what constitutes a full English breakfast. We've got
I'm going to enjoy that one.
how many times should you go back up to a buffet or carvery?
Yeah.
We've got when you order your fast food at the fast food window and then your food isn't ready on time and you kind of get stuck in this awkward situation where you're kind of just sitting there staring and stuck at the window. Or I actually think the actual problem was when you get given your food but the car in front, you order your food and the car in front hasn't moved, so you're kind of stuck in this awkward situation.
Oh, well, you're face to face with the attendee.
Yeah. What else have we got? Using gloves, like using devices when you're trying to wear gloves,
Yeah.
because you can't use them.
You can get gloves that.
very well. Yeah, but
That's very
also
solved,
you
isn't
have don't have the dexterity there, do you?
No,
Like,
you
what if
don't.
you're trying to operate like a,
What if
something?
you're trying to fly a drone?
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. What else have we got in the list? God, I'm
I once
struck.
saw a busker in winter play guitar wearing thick gloves. Beautifully.
Right,
It was-
picked.
yeah, it was incredible, yeah.
Good for him.
One of those things that you wind up and it plays the guitar
Ah,
for
I
you.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't real.
Yes, and many more.
And many more. All to come on See If It Sticks. So I think that's it for this week. Right?
I think so.
Yeah. We will return on Monday with some news at Sticks. And
And
Dean
it-
will be with us once again.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's going to be fire.
Oh.
Oh,
For this week, I have been Ross.
I have been Dan.
I've been Dean.
I feel like someone should say something. Wet palette.